Ah, yes, the army recruitment ads, China versus Russia versus America. When all the right-wingers, all the fascists in America were jerking themselves off about how, like, manly China and Russia are. This is the Chinese one.
Не имеет значения. То, кем ты был прежде, уже никого не волнует. Теперь важно то, кем ты будешь сегодня. Что ты знаешь о себе? На что ты способен? Вопросы могут остаться без ответов, но разве ты сможешь потом спокойно спать? Узнать себя, познать границы своих возможностей. К черту границы. Ты готов ломать себя до изнеможения. Каждый день здесь боль закаляет. Шрамы, повседневность. Это ты решил себе что-то доказать. Командир здесь только для того, чтобы ты мог увидеть в нем врага. Потому что без врага нет боя, а без боя нет победы. Но на самом деле...
Pictured VDV troopers being deployed directly into the sea.
Это ты. Вчерашний ты. Твоя задача выследить врага, догнать его, превзойти, стать лучше, чем он, и вернуться назад победителем. Потому что завтра первый день твоей новой жизни.
Jesus Christ, it looks like a video game parody of a military ad. It looks like something that you would see in Starship Troopers, or like those cinematics in StarCraft 1. You know what I mean? Or like, here's a fascist society, here's like the Imperium of Man, or here's the like Confederacy, or the Earth Directorate, or something. Here's their fascist recruitment ad, or something, you know?
Потому что завтра первый день твоей новой жизни.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so that didn't work. It turns out that, like, filming a muscular guy doing push-ups and running around doesn't actually, like, mean your military is that good, actually. Let's look at the US ad. The they-them army.
Потому что завтра первый день твоей новой жизни.
Fuck yes, dude. Absolutely. Get my gay ass, like, undead, like, Telltale Games opening cinematic shit in here. It's so gay.
This is the story of a soldier who operates your nation's Patriot missile defense systems. It begins in California with a little girl raised by two moms.
I love modernity, dude. I love modernity. Yeah, it is ironic that despite literally having a gay couple here, the Russian one is somehow still way the fuck gayer. This is so funny. This is so fucking funny, dude. The funny thing is, this actually serves our political interest, because the more the army puts out ads like this, the more right-wingers aren't going to want to join the army because they think it's gay and cucked and Jewish now. And that way, when the big happening happens, it's all libs and leftists who are in the military, and they have no shot. When the happening commences.
Although I had a fairly typical childhood, took ballet, played violin, I also marched for equality.
If I had a daughter who had talent in music and dance and was interested in, you know, social happenings, and they wouldn't join the army, I would have no fucking daughter. Holy shit.
I like to think I've been defending freedom from an early age. When I was 6 years old, one of my moms had an accident that left her paralyzed. Doctors said she might never walk again.
Had to fill another...
She tapped into my family's pride to get back on her feet.
Pick on the checklist.
Eventually standing at the altar to marry my other mom. With such powerful role models, I finished high school at the top of my class, and then attended UC Davis, where I joined a sorority full of other strong women. But as graduation approached, I began feeling like I'd been handed so much in life. A sorority girl stereotype.
As graduation approached, I realized that freedom isn't free, and every moment of peace I've enjoyed must be bought in blood from Taliban insurgents. So I joined up to fire $600,000 rockets into the sides of mountains to collapse their tunnels.
Sure, I'd spent my life around inspiring women, but what had I really achieved on my own? One of my sorority sisters was studying abroad in Italy. Another was climbing Mount Everest. I needed my own adventures, my own challenge. And after meeting with an army recruiter, I found it. A way to prove my inner strength and maybe shatter some stereotypes.
I like how the recommended next video from watching this channel is literally like, watch black people loot a store. I wonder what kind of channel I'm looking at.
Along the way. I'm U.S. Army Corporal Emma Malone Lord, and I answered my calling.
Isn't it crazy how in animation she looks nice, but the moment she turns into... Yeah, Gally. The moment she turns into, like, a real person, it's like, oh, she would absolutely, like, call the cops on a black person who's walking around in her neighborhood.
I'm U.S. Army
right
Corporal
there,
Emma Malone Lord, and I answered my calling.
The Karenification. Yeah, back in mid-2001. Chinese army, are you brave enough? Russian army, are you strong enough? American army, are you gay enough? True! The trick is, though, is that the real, like, qualifier for being a strong soldier is actually just being gay, and the Russian army was not gay enough. They failed the test. They are all spot on at nailing their national character. Russian, intimidating survivalist dark Slav warrior. American, sexually confused infantile cretin living in a cartoon world. When I've said before that fascist societies will always fall apart, it's for this reason exactly. It's because as long as the fascist abhors empirical reality, the way like a bat stays in the cave to avoid the light, like they will look at like a muscular guy doing jumping jacks and think, ah, that's a strong military. Meanwhile, America is like 50 times stronger than everyone else put together all the time. They don't care about reality. It's not about reality. Watch the China one? Yeah, I guess, yeah.
我们已经习惯打道。
王局，
啊！
专利动员大会现在开始。
一声道，是一句承诺。
军长同志，一方前准备完毕，请指示。什么？战！
Dude, he's right there.
是一种割舍。
Fuck, dude. I cannot tell you. Okay. Pardon my goblin energy here. I cannot wait for China to get embroiled in its first real ground war of the modern era. I cannot wait because like it's the two big countries that like people test against American hegemony are Russia and China, and we've thoroughly proven that Russia does not exist. There is no such thing as Russia. So the first time China gets involved in a ground war, okay? And at first you're going to have all the conservatives who are like, glorious Chinese society, which does not have gay people on television, will destroy, like, whatever, this or that, you know? And we're just going to get videos on TikTok of like, fuck, I don't know, what's a conflict other than India? What non-nuclear country would they go in for? Taiwan, they get involved with us, because we defend Taiwan. What other country? No, we get involved in Taiwan. Mongolia? Do they even fight with Mongolia, like, at all? Vietnam? Vietnam or Mongolia, decide. Which hypothetical conflict? Let's just go with Vietnam, okay? Wait, no, I don't want Vietnam to win. Luna Oi would be really smug about it. God damn it. Vietnam is more likely. Okay, let's just say they get in a ground war with Vietnam, and we're going to have, like, TikTok videos of the greatest warriors of Ho Chi Minh, like, flossing over all of these pieces of Chinese armor that were duct taped together to look good during military parades, you know? Yeah, I don't know. I just think this is very funny. India's a nuclear country, guys. At least this actually shows military hardware, as opposed to the Russian thing, which just showed, like, one muscular guy on a rifle, you know? Like, at least this actually shows equipment. Do you think maybe the US isn't as strong as we posture? No, we're incredibly strong. It's insane how fucking strong we are. To give you an example of how strong we are, the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan, stayed there in a quagmire, and it broke their economy. We invaded Afghanistan, stayed there for 20 years, and we were fine. We posted record gains all the way through. Our economy and our military are so strong that we can casually sit on the rest of the world and maintain domestic production. Like lefties constantly underestimate the United States because it's kind of politically expedient for them to like prop up other countries outside the hegemon. But if you want to be a good leftist, you have to understand there's only one superpower. Nobody else even comes close, like not even remotely. Our military is so beyond. Like you will literally see, like, this has happened so many times. You will literally see like other countries brag that they just developed some technology like that, like, or you'll see like news articles like new Chinese plane or something, and then like later it'll be leaked that the Pentagon has had access to that technology since like the late 90s. Like it's genuinely ridiculous. We're so far ahead of everyone else militarily that it's unnecessary, and I don't want us to spend this much in our military, not even close. But while we are spending this much in our military, it's very important to understand how insane the discrepancy is. Genuinely insane. Yeah. Like, keep in mind, okay, to give an example, you know how right now the Ukrainians are doing incredibly fucking well against Russia, despite the odds, and they're doing it mostly with American gear? Those javelins are from the 80s. Russian tanks are melting to equipment that we produced during the Cold War. We have better guns now. We're giving them our surplus. Like, literally, yeah. The Russian army is being broken against our, like, old tech. Nothing comes close. Nobody comes close. And again, this isn't like chauvinism or whatever. If you're an American and you want to, like, deplete the American empire, you have to know how strong it is, right? You don't want to delude yourself like all the right-wingers did into believing that, yeah, even the HIMARS rocket system is in the late 1990s. This is literally like cutting edge in terms of deployed equipment, and we came up with it like 30 years ago. Like, what do we have now? We don't even, like... Sheesh. God damn, I didn't know that about HIMARS. Yeah, like, these are, like... Yeah, yeah. What about USA versus the rest of the world? People have given me shit for this take, but I genuinely believe it. If you took nuclear weapons off the table, in which case, of course, any global war means the world ends. If you took all nukes off the table and you're limited to, like, conventional weaponry, I still think the US would win against the rest of the world, in large part because of our defensible position. We're in the middle of the ocean. Canada and Mexico are both weak, and to our north and south. A lot of them would have to come through the sea or come through, like, defensible passes. I think, yeah. That's, like, kind of jerk-off, like, Hearts of Iron 4-tier shit, but I do believe it. Like, people do not understand what America is like. Like, it is so fucking wild how much money we spend in the military. It is insane. It is unimaginable how much we spend. Like, how many aircraft carriers are there in the world? Total aircraft carriers. 46 aircraft carriers in service worldwide, 20 of which are ours. So we're nearly half of the aircraft/helicopter carriers in the world, and ours are bigger than everyone else's. Most of ours are nuclear powered, and we have carrier groups. How many U.S. carrier groups? Do you know what a carrier group can do to most developed countries? It's like that whole, you know, the world's largest Air Force is the U.S. Air Force, and the second largest Air Force is the U.S. Navy, you know? Like a naval carrier group is like, are we have any One Piece fans? This is the Buster Call. Yeah, no, this is the fucking Buster Call. Oh, it's the other way around? Wait, the U.S. Navy has a larger Air Force than the U.S. Air Force? Hell yeah. The One Piece is real. Yeah. We have 11 nuclear carriers. Yeah, our nuclear carriers are pretty cool. Very big. The fucking Buster Call. You just... imagine if the military worked like that. Just fucking anime, dude. You just have, like, one, like... like wandering like US corporal just somewhere in Syria or something, and they scream into the radio like, yeah, Buster call activate or something, and 6 hours later like $4 trillion worth of military equipment is assembled like off the off the shore, just liquidating the fucking God. Thank God it doesn't work like that. It kind of does work like that. We had a lot of really close calls with nuclear submarines during the Cold War. It kind of actually works a little bit like that. Sometimes. Wild stuff. Oh wait, Sooked unless that's something. Wait, what? Wait, STL, retype what you said? I saw that you said something. I didn't see what you said. Yeah, I love starting nuclear Armageddon. This is one reason I think first worldism is in trying to turn America socialist, rather than focusing exclusively on third worlders trying to achieve revolution in their poor countries, is so important. If the US goes fascist, it can really destroy the world. Yeah, at the very least, it's important to, like, hold off the first world, right? Like, you can't just leave the first world like, oh, if it goes fascist, whatever, we're already fascist. Like, no one in the world can be socialist as long as America is militarily anti-socialist. We will not allow it. No one can survive. U.S. largest aircraft carrier. The USS Gerald Ford. $13 billion? Dude, Elon Musk could have like 20 of these. What the fuck? Why, as a billionaire, would you not simply have an aircraft carrier? Look at that. Gerald Ford? I always fuck this up. Gerald Ford? Gerald Ford. I always fuck that up. There's like 7 viable pronunciations, and I fuck it up every single time. What's the crew for this ship? About 2,600 people. God damn. That's a lot of people. Oh, do you want to hear something really wild, by the way? Back during the Age of Sail, some of the largest battleships that were constructed, like the 4th-rate ship of the lines, I think they actually had a comparable crew size, despite literally being like wooden sail ships. What was the largest Age of Sail warship of the line? It was from the UK, the HMS Victoria. Yeah, and the HMS Victoria had a crew of about 1,000 officers and men. Yeah. Just kind of interesting to think that, like, the largest aircraft carrier in the world had a crew size that wasn't that much larger than the largest Age of Sail battleship. You know? There's a lot of people. Oh, sorry, 1st-rate ship of the line, not 4th-rate. It counts up, not counts down. 1st-rate, 3-deck ship of the line commissioned for sea service. With a displacement of 7,000 tons, she was the largest ever wooden battleship. 260 feet long, and 121 guns. On the lower deck, 30 on the central deck, 32 on the upper deck, 26 on the upper deck, including a 68-pounder gun. A 68-pounder gun, which I assume is used to sink cities? God, perhaps? Most cannons used back then were 12-pounders. What the fuck are you doing with a 68-pounder? Jesus Christ. How's the homeless and aircraft carriers? True! Sorry, we're rolling it back right now. Hold on. Did you know the USSR sold billions of dollars worth of naval ships to the Pepsi Corporation in order to settle debt? Yep. For a while, the Pepsi Corporation was the 6th largest navy in the world.
我们用忠诚筑起长城，改革强军，征途如虹。
历史告诉我，改革创新与时。
This didn't really happen? Yeah, it did. Don't try to make reality less cool than it is. Obviously, Pepsi wasn't like arming and deploying these fleets. I'm not saying that Pepsi was like sailing around the Atlantic in a naval group, but they did own those ships. That was their navy. You know, the Russian or the Soviets were selling, well, I guess the Russians were selling off Soviet scrap because they were in debt and they wanted sweet, sweet Pepsi.
是人民军队不断发展的康庄大道。人民军队的力量来自改革创新，人民军队的胜利来自改革创新。
祖国召唤，我必到。
我有战，我必回。
一声道，一声道。
This is so much better than the Russian ad. Could China beat the EU in a non-nuclear conflict? China on its own? I don't think so. No, I do think that China is more competent than Russia, but like massively so. But I think that the EU, like of the EU forces together, I think they would be able to pull through. That might be closer though. That might be closer. Yeah. Yeah. No, it isn't. They never own the ships. Really? What the fuck is wrong with you? Vaush, no, it isn't. They never own the ships. As remarkable as it may seem, Pepsi did indeed own Soviet warships. What the fuck? Why would you link this to me? Labor you! Labor you! It has often been suggested by owning these ships, Pepsi became the largest name in the world. In reality, it never took possession of the vessels acquired. No, I never claimed that Pepsi staffed the ships, but they owned them, yeah. They didn't have like Pepsi, like minimum wage employees, like rearming the like 12.7 millimeter like fucking autocannons or some shit. You know, as fun as that would have been for a vacation job, you know. Doesn't China have very little actual war experience? Yeah, they kind of don't. What wars has China been in? I don't remember the last major conflict they've been in, where they've really been tested, you know? Of course, there was the Chinese Civil War, obviously. They fought Tibet in 1950. How many people died? A few thousand? This isn't a real... We're looking for something that would, like, test their modern military capabilities. The Korean War, but that's so far back. Wait, let's go for the modern era down, okay? China-India skirmishes, no. Standoff, no. The Mali War, which I know nothing about. Oh my fucking god, what's happening here? The forces of France, Mali, China, Benin, Ghana, Cape Verde, Gambia, Ghana, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Ivory Coast, Liberia, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Senegal, Togo, Chad, Burundi, Gabon, South Africa, Rwanda, Tanzania, Uganda, Germany. Versus the heroes of the story, the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, Ansar al-Sharia, and Jamaat Nasr al-Islam wal Muslimin. Okay, ISIS, gotcha. I didn't realize that I didn't realize this was still happening. I think I just like read something about this fight. I didn't realize it was still happening. 10 years? Can they just stop? How many people have died? Okay, most of the people involved have had like 1 or 2 people dead. There's constant war in Africa. Yeah, I know that. Operation Ocean's Shield against the Somali pirates. Victory. Number of Somali pirate attacks reduced dramatically. Woo! Oh, look, NATO's involved in this one. The Somali pirates are pretty bad dudes. It's okay to celebrate victory against them. The War on Terror. Yeah, okay. How about a real war? NATO and Russia? Nobody likes the Somali pirates. Literally nobody likes them. Seriously. The Somali pirates, I think, were kind of like a unique political force in that basically nobody sided with them. Like, there are governments who are, you know, not the ISIS, but like Al-Qaeda, you know, the Taliban, like they've had like kind of state involvement, you know? The Somali pirates, just nobody fucking liked them. They were poor. Yeah, and they were assholes. Not to say that they weren't you know, a product of like colonial, you know, power or whatever. Just Sino-Vietnamese conflicts, temporary Chinese occupation, and the Sino-Vietnamese War. How many people? Here we go. This is a real conflict. 42 to 57,000 killed. So many and so many wounded. Okay, yeah. I like how we have the Chinese, Vietnamese, and Western estimates for all the death counts because like they're all like making shit up. The Chinese say they lost 7,000 people. The Vietnamese say the Chinese lost 48,000 people. Yeah. Vaush, think about this. Ha! Yes! Exactly. Who's really the bad guy here, huh? Oh, wow. Okay. So you've got the police, the district attorney, the courts, the judge, and the federal government all against one rapist serial killer? Who's really the bad guy here? Yeah, the plucky underdog, exactly. I saw someone earlier in chat say that earlier aircraft carriers actually had like 5,000 to 6,000 people, and that the reason the modern one only has 2,000 is because of a lot of automation, which is probably good. You know, if the ship ever gets sunk, you want fewer casualties, I guess. So how gay did China do in this conflict? Was this a real test of their logistical and mechanical capabilities? Was this a real test for the Chinese military? This is too far back. It's true, like, China has changed a lot since 1979. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, if their last real test was in 1979, nearly like 50 years ago, I don't think you can say the Chinese military has been tested. I guess we just have to see. By declaring war on China. Oh, speaking of. Alright. Oh, we missed the beginning part where he gets his head shaved.
Первый день твоей новой жизни. То, что было вчера, не имеет значения. То, кем ты был прежде, уже никого не...
The overall point is that China's had no real test or experience. Okay, okay. I'm obviously not a vet, but I do know vets. And from what I've heard, the thing that, like, makes a good military isn't so much experience. Obviously, you want officers with experience, but what I've heard a lot of it is, like, expectation. If you have, like, a reasonable chain of command where the officers are given realistic goals to like, manage and act through and succeed in, then you can have, like, an operationally effective military. Whereas if you have, like, a bunch of, like, touted up fascist officials who have 17 medals pinned to their chest, who are like, ah, yes, simply capture this depot 60 miles into enemy territory and we'll pick you up, you know. Or, like, if basically, if, like, are the officers above you people who, like, are with you? Okay, it's really, are your officers with service or with management? That's the question. Do you know what I mean? Do you get what I mean when I say that? Like, is your officer like some political kiss ass who's just like looking to pin 50 medals on their chest, and like everything that they know about military like operational, you know, like capabilities comes right out of like the fucking red book, where they're like saluting every like paragraph they read, and they're like oh yes, a glorious, you know, advocate for Marxism-Leninism should have no trouble capturing territory from dirty, you know, Slavic, yeah, blah, 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 you know, whatever. It's just highly ideological, highly illegal, as opposed to people who actually, like, give a shit. Officers aren't as big of a role as you think. NCOs and logistics are what win wars. Well, obviously logistics too, but, like, all that stuff, like, the ability for logistics to keep up with the movement of troops is determined in large part by, like, officers directing those troops, right? Like, it's way easier to plan out, like, logistics when you have a realistic, like, set of expectations for your soldiers and how far they can go and how quickly they can move and what they can realistically do, you know? Basically, I guess the broader thing is, like, the more arrogant your officers are, the worse things are going to pan out, if that makes any sense.